Hare Krishna devotees, once again welcome to celebration of Disappearance Day of Bhakti Vinoda Thakura, Swami Maharaj. Today, His Grace Abhay Charan Prabhu will be giving a class glorifying him, glorifying Bhakti Vinoda Thakura Maharaj. Briefly about Abhay Charan Prabhu. Prabhu is a disciple of His Grace Sankarshan Das Adhikari Prabhu. Prabhu has been practicing Krishna consciousness for more than 2 decades now. Prabhu, along with his beloved wife Guruvani Mataji, are a huge support for the temple and do many services for the temple. Prabhu is highly knowledgeable in scriptures. He's very humble Vaishnava, and he's always ready to help. He is truly an exemplary Vaishnava. With that, let us welcome Prabhu by loudly chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra one time. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Abhay Charan Prabhu, over to you.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Hare Krishna, devotees. So, Satsar Prabhu and devotees asked me to speak on Bhakti Vinoda Thakura. Of course, before I start, I'll just pray. We'll do a small Jai Radha Madhava, 2 minutes, and then we'll start. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari, Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari, Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana, Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana, Yamuna Tira Vanachari, Yamuna Tira Vanachari, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna today. So, let us all pray. Maybe you can chant along with me. We'll pray to Bhakti Vinoda Thakura, who is exemplary Vaishnava. Of course, without him, today we wouldn't be even meeting on the Zoom call. So, Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Sachidananda Namine Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanuga Varayate. I offer my respectful obeisances unto Sachidananda Bhakti Vinoda, who is transcendental energy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is a strict follower of the Goswamis headed by Srila Rupa Goswami. So, as we all know, Bhakti Vinoda Thakura is Srila Prabhupada's guru, and he is Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's father. So, first time, before we even speak of Bhakti Vinoda Thakura, I would like to just talk a few words about the glories of Vaishnavas. Just by speaking glories of Vaishnavas, one can actually transcend this material modes of material nature. And recently I had a small story, I'll tell that, and then I'll go forward. There's once Yudhishthira Maharaj, when he did a big yajna, Ashwamedha yajna, then the rule is that one has to satisfy all the people and everyone, all the brahmanas and everyone. And unless everyone is satisfied, the yajna is not complete. So he went and asked each and everyone, but one sadhu, when he asked, sadhu said, no, I'm not satisfied. Then Yudhishthira Maharaj asked, oh, how is that he is not satisfied? If you are not satisfied, then my yajna will not be complete. So he said, what can I do? And so what can I do so that I can get the benefit of that? So and the sadhu said that you have to give me all the results of the Ashwamedha Yajna. Then I will be satisfied. Then Yudhishthira said, of course, I'll give you. I have no issues. But the only thing is, unless you are satisfied, my yajna will not complete. And if my yajna is not complete, I will not be able to give you the benefits. So the sadhu said, he was adamant. He said, I don't know about all this. You have to give me the all the benefits of the yajna, then I'll give you. So then Yudhishthira Maharaj was in a fix because it's a catch-22. You can't finish it off because he's not satisfied, and he won't be satisfied unless the whole yajna comes. So when Yudhishthira Maharaj was thinking of what to do, the story goes where Draupadi comes and asks what's happening. Then Yudhishthira Maharaj gives her the explanation of what happened. Then she said, oh, okay, don't worry, I'll solve it. Then she says, okay, she goes and goes to the Brahmana, talks to him and comes back. And then she says, then he is satisfied and the yajna is complete. Then Yudhishthira Maharaj asks, what did you do? So she says that, well, I told the Brahmana that I'll give you all the benefits. And then Brahmana said, you have to give me the benefits of all the yajna, then only I'll stay satisfied. Then she said that if a devotee, if he's wanting to meet a sadhu, and he wants to meet the sadhu, and if he's contemplating in his mind and getting happy to go and meet the sadhu, then each remembrance is equivalent to hundreds of yajnas, Ashwamedha yajnas. So I'll give you the benefit of all of them. So then she gives that benefit of all of that, and then he's satisfied. So the story it depicts one thing, that even if we meditate on the glories of a sadhu, even if we meditate on the glories of a great Vaishnava, we make immense progress, and also we get the benefit of hundreds and thousands of yajnas done. So with that in mind, let us pray to Bhakti Vinoda Thakur that we can glorify him even a little bit. That is good enough. We can get some Sukriti, and it will help us in our spiritual progress, and we can get their blessings. So Bhakti Vinoda Thakur, he is actually considered as he was considered as God-sent pioneer of unalloyed devotion of God. So he was such an exemplary Vaishnava that because of him, the Chaitanya Krishna consciousness actually revived. So the actual foundation of Krishna consciousness, or the proper process in which we can follow, was practically established by Bhakti Vinoda Thakur. So he was born on September 2nd, 1938. If you remember Srila Prabhupada, when was Srila Prabhupada born? He was born on September 1st, 1896. So it's September 2nd, Bhakti Vinoda Thakur's appearance day, and Prabhupada was born on 1st of September. And Srila Prabhupada was born after the next day after Janmashtami, whereas Bhakti Vinoda Thakur was born after Vamana Dwadashi. So such is the glories of... and Bhakti Vinoda Thakur was born to a very, very wealthy family. At the time when he was born, and the family was very wealthy. He was and very affluent. He had, but later on, when his father left his body, when Bhakti Vinoda Thakur was around 11 years, his father left the body, and then all the wealth that he had, that is his grandfather's wealth and everything, was destroyed, or rather taken away by someone else. So then after that, the family was set into poverty actually. So next when he was 12 years old, Bhakti Vinoda Thakur, when he was 12 years old, he got married. His mother married him to the Mataji, who was just 5 years old. At that time, of course, child marriage was prevalent, and that was normal, and that was how it was going on. And then later on, Bhakti Vinod Thakur studied a lot of, he was one of the extremely considered, even as a child, he was very considered extremely intelligent and very scholarly person. So he read all the Western philosophy. He did his schooling in Calcutta later. He did all his philosophy, and he did study of various thoughts. Philosophy. There is different branches in the philosophy, which unless you are knowledgeable of that, you're not considered a great scholar. So Bhakti Vinod Thakur was able to finish study all that. And then when he was 18 years old, he started writing many articles in the books in Bengali and English. And then because of his scholarly articles, just he was 18 to 20 years, he was writing so many articles. So this shows that even as a child, Bhakti Vinod Thakur was extremely intelligent and very well learned. In fact, he was his grandfather, when he left, his grandfather left the body. Before leaving the body, he predicted that Bhakti Vinod Thakur will become a great Vaishnava. And also, he will take up a job in a government office, and then he will actually become a very well-known person in the government office also. His initial name was Kedarnath Datta, and Kedarnath Datta. And later on, after he became he got initiated, and that's how he got Bhakti Vinod Sachidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Sachidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur. That was that. And then later on, he started getting more and more interested in Vaishnava philosophy. Then he started reading. And then later on, he became so much interested in Vaishnava philosophy, and he started searching for Chaitanya, teachings of Lord Chaitanya and books on Chaitanya. But unfortunately, at that time, Chaitanya Charitamrita and those books were not so easily available. In fact, that shows that we are so fortunate. We can just go online, order on Amazon or maybe on Bhakti Vedanta Book Trust or somewhere. We can just order and we can get a whole set of Chaitanya Charitamrita, Bhagavatam set, Bhagavad Gita. Sometimes I feel that we take it for granted, these books. But previously, if someone wanted to read Chaitanya Charitamrita or books on that, they had to actually really search to get a physical copy. So it was not. So in fact, Bhakti Vinod Thakur did not get the access to Chaitanya Charitamrita and such books for many years. That's after many a couple of years, few years later on, he got it. Then later on, Bhakti Vinod Thakur. He started when he found that book. Then he started researching on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and then he realized that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the teachings of Lord Chaitanya is the only thing that can actually help solve the problems of this world, and actually take up establish Krishna consciousness, God consciousness in this. Rest because at that time, lot of upper sampradayas were coming up. People, it became so cheap that people started, the intellectual class of people started rejecting Vaishnava philosophy. And they started thinking that Vaishnava philosophy means it's a matter of sentiments and doing all nonsense. So Vaishnava philosophy was actually getting eroded actually. So that is why Bhakti Vinod Thakur's teachings, or rather establishing the Gaudiya Sampradaya, or rather the teachings of Lord Chaitanya, is very prominent. And that is why, as I said, that is the foundation on which the whole Sampradaya started actually being revived. Because after Lord Chaitanya left and the six Goswamis left, many upper sampradayas started coming, and slowly, it started deteriorating. That is why Lord Krishna actually sent Bhakti Vinod Thakur to this material world so that this can be revived. And Bhakti Vinoda Thakur, when he got access to Chaitanya Charitamrita, it's mentioned, I was reading about it, it's mentioned that he read Chaitanya Charitamrita again and again and again and again, that he was so engrossed in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. That shows devotee and okay. That shows a devotee is only possible if we read the books of Lord Chaitanya, and fortunately for us, we have access to Chaitanya Charitamrita and Bhakti Srimad Bhagavatam very easily by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. So if we have not read, or if we are not at thing, we should see that if we can somehow continue and somehow read Chaitanya Charitamrita and Bhagavatam, that we have so nicely access to. So, and because that is what will establish the Vaishnava Dharma, and that will what is establish our consciousness in our heart. Our Krishna consciousness will actually be established only when we read this books given to us. So, with that, Bhakti Vinoda Thakur also started many sort of clubs, you can say, Bhagavad Club like that, so that he can distribute this knowledge of everyone. So, there's one story when Bhakti Vinoda Thakur came to a place called Champarana. There, what was happening was, because, by the way, Bhakti Vinoda Thakur actually became a magistrate, and he got a post in the government, and he was actually a judge. And when he came to this place known as Champarana, there he found that people were worshipping a ghost. And when he researched further, he realized that people were worshipping the ghost because this ghost had the power to change the mind of the magistrate to act in the favor of the person who is worshipping the ghost. And that ghost actually became very famous. That ghost was residing on a banyan tree, and then people were coming, and all those people who were cheaters or other rogues, they would, if their case would go into the court, then they would come and offer praise to this ghost, and this ghost would bless them, and they will win the case. So this was happening. So once one famous person came to Bhakti Vinoda Thakur with the case. So then Bhakti Vinoda Thakur, what he did, he made him read this Srimad Bhagavatam under that banyan tree. So for 1 month, that person read Bhagavatam under this banyan tree. After 1 month passed, the whole tree came crashing. The ghost left the place, and that's how he got rid of the ghost in that village. So then that actually brought about a lot of faith for the people over there on Srimad Bhagavatam. So devotees or Vaishnava Acharyas do have to go through so many activities just to bring faith back to the Srimad Bhagavatam. So fortunately, we have access to Bhagavatam, we have access to the Chaitanya Charitamrita and the scriptures. So we don't have to wait for someone to drive over the ghost. That ghost is our mind. If we can help our mind get rid of the ghost of not reading Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita, that will only happen if we read the scriptures. Then after that, Bhakti Vinoda Thakur came to Jagannath Puri. And there, after some time, he found that there was one, this is a famous story actually, called as Vishwaksena. He was a yogi, very powerful yogi. And then he was acting as if he was God. So he had mystical powers actually. He had yogic powers. And he had such great powers that he would lean into the fire and then just as if nothing happened, as it's cool. And then he had the power to create fire in his head, and he could see people and predict what they're thinking. And people would throng to him, and people would come and ask for benedictions from him, and he would grant them. And the temples started giving him money, because the pujaris started giving money, because they started thinking that he's God, Vishnu, because anyone who creates a lot of such shows, such mystic powers, innocent people start believing him as God. So when he was doing that, then this case, then this Vishwasen started saying that what I'm going to do is I'm going to drive away these British people and become the king of Orissa. So then this news came to the British people, British officers. They immediately said, "Oh, this man is going to do some mischief, and he's going to try to play with our government." So then they said They said, "Okay, let's employ someone so that this yogi can be taken care of, Vishwaksen." So when was that? Finally, they found that the only proper person who can fight this is Bhakti Vinoda Thakur. So Bhakti Vinoda Thakur, when he came to Vishwaksen, and he said that, why are you residing in this village? Why don't you go to Jagannath Puri and worship Lord Jagannath, and then live a peaceful and happy life? Why are you wasting your time here? Because Bhaktivinoda Thakur knew that he's a yogi, so he knows the scriptures and he knows the knowledge. So maybe good advice will help. So immediately, this Vishwaksen started cursing Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and he said that, "What are you talking about?" This Vishwaksen had two associates. One he named as Brahma, another he named as Shiva. And he himself called himself as Mahavishnu. He said he started blaspheming Jagannath deities. And he said, "They are made of wood. I am Mahavishnu. Why are you going and wasting your time over there? You worship me. I'll give you honorable benediction. I'll make you king of Orissa, and you can live happily with me." Hearing this, Bhakti Vinoda Thakur immediately got extremely angry. I mean, it's mentioned that a Vaishnava is not angry when someone says bad about him or anything related to him. But the same Vaishnava, if he gets extremely angry, if another devotee is blasphemed, or if the Lord is blasphemed, these are so we can use anger in that way. We don't get angry if someone blasphemes us, but we get angry if a devotee is blasphemed or Krishna is blasphemed. So that is a sign of a devotee. So immediately Bhaktivinoda Thakur was extremely angry, and he said, like, "How dare you do that?" He said, "Immediately he'll get arrested." So then this yogi, being very powerful, no one dared to come and arrest him. When he ordered the Havaldars, or rather the policemen, to tie him up and take him, no one came. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur himself came personally and arrested him, and then took him to the court. So in this, when Vishwaksen was taken to court, being a yogi, he did a lot of mischief on Bhakti Vinoda Thakur. So then there was a trial for 18 days, actually. And for 18 days, this Vishwaksen was judged in the court. And finally, on the 18th day, Bhakti Vinoda Thakur gave the verdict that he should be sentenced for 18 months in the jail. So, but everyone was actually scared that doing that. So this Vishwaksen, what he did, he made on the 6th day of the judgment, or rather on the 18-day trial, 6th day, he made his daughter, Bhakti Vinoda Thakur's daughter, very ill. And Bhakti Vinoda's wife, Bhagavati Mate, she started telling Bhakti Vinoda Thakur, "Why are you arresting Mahavishnu? Why are you doing this? Because of that, our daughter may die. At that time, Bhakti Vinoda said that I will, let's all die, but this rascal should be punished. So that is the conviction, that is the purity of a devotee, that he will not let go of unpunished such rascals. So finally, he was jailed for 18 months, and then one doctor, what he did, when this yogi was being taken, the guy immediately came and cut his hair. The moment he cut his hair, this yogi who was not eating for many days, but he was still very powerful. The moment his hair was cut, immediately he lost all the yogi powers. It's actually mentioned that the yogis, they tie their hair and they keep the powers over there. So once the hair was cut, he became old and frail. He didn't have any powers. And after around 3 months or so, he took poison. He died. So Bhakti Vinoda Thakur's the glories of Bhakti Vinoda Thakur. This is actually shows us that a Vaishnava, under any circumstances, his conviction towards Krishna consciousness is never lost. He is in such a and in the even under extreme dire circumstances, he did not give up his Krishna conscious, or he said, okay, I'm scared of this yogi and I'll give up this Krishna conscious and maybe take up. Actually, had Bhakti Vinoda Thakur taken up, probably he would have, with some yogic powers, could have given him a lot of material opulence. But devotee's concern is not how much material opulence you have. Devotee's concern is about how much Krishna conscious we are, how much we can progress in Krishna consciousness under any circumstances. We can see that conviction, and we can learn from that. Because even in our day-to-day life, we will come across many challenges where we will be challenged whether I have to follow my Krishna consciousness or not. That is a test. For that, when that test comes, if we are strictly still following the four regulative principles and chanting 16 rounds, following devotees, if we keep up our practice, then we will become very dear to Guru, Vaishnavas, and Krishna to get in blessings. So this is how Acharya showed us, that Bhakti Vinoda Thakur is showing us that even though his daughter was dying, later on, in fact, around the 18th day, Bhakti Vinoda Thakur became so ill that he had to be carried in a chair to the court to give the verdict. Even in that condition, he was able to give the verdict against this Vishwakshen. So that is how we can also learn from that we can also become strict and strong in a Krishna conscious. Under any circumstances, we remain Krishna conscious. Because if everything is going fine and we are chanting and practicing, sometimes it's like not a big deal. But when we get the test, and amazingly, Krishna puts us in so many different tests that we can't even imagine, and circumstances which will be challenging. So we can keep Bhakti Vinoda Thakur in our mind and see that we go through the test and we don't give up our Krishna conscious. So then later on, Bhakti Vinoda Thakur started writing profusely. In fact, the song that we just sang, Jai Radha Madhava, that is also, which is very famous and practically everyone knows, that is written by Bhakti Vinoda Thakur. Srila Prabhupada says that Jai Radha Madhava, the song, is a window to the spiritual world. A window to a spiritual world, which means if we can sing that song with devotion, with conviction and have faith and chant nicely, then we can actually see the Lord in Vrindavan and his Leelas directly. So the Acharya's songs are non-different from scriptures, period. In fact, Srila Prabhupada says one of the favorite Acharya of Srila Prabhupada of our the songs as Narottam Das Thakur and Bhakti Vinoda Thakur. Srila Prabhupada, if you see, Srila Prabhupada quotes a lot from Bhakti Vinoda Thakur's songs. That is because he was such a powerful acharya and such a powerful devotee that he, just by reading the prayers that he has given, the songs that he has given, if we can meditate on those songs, just by hearing those songs and meditate on those, we can actually understand a lot of the complete Shastra. So, one that song that comes to my mind is Kabhe Habe. This is, I'll just sing the first stanza. Kabhe Habe bolo se dinama अपराध गुची शुद्ध नामे रुचि कृपा बोले हबे हृदय संचार कबे हबे बोलो से दीनामा. So this song in Srila Bhakti Vinoda Thakur is actually praying, when will this day come? When will this day be mine? When my aparada, when my misgivings, my anarthas will go away. And then when will that day come when I can chant the names of Krishna, Shuddhanama Ruchi, when I'll get the Shuddhanama, pure devotion to Lord Krishna. So if we have time, sometimes we can just sing the songs. And just by singing these songs, all the import of the Shastras is giving in very, very simple language. So that is why Acharyas are so powerful. So I'll just talk very brief. I think this is very known of Bhakti Vinoda Thakur's how he kept his time. Obviously, Bhakti Vinoda Thakur is a very big family. He had a very big family, and he was a full-time employee of the government. But at the same time, he was able to write hundreds of songs. And he, in fact, he's mentioned that he wrote 100 books, and each book had so many songs and literature. So, how can a person do so many things in just one lifetime? This is inconceivable, because Bhakti Vinoda Thakur, just a brief, I'll read the time that he used to follow. I mean, of course, we cannot imitate this time scale, but at least we can have in mind how acharyas show the respect to time and how they utilize the time. So I'm just reading that. Here it's mentioned he would take rest from 8 to 10 p.m. for around 2 hours or something. From 10 to 4, he would write, where most of us are actually sleeping. He would write from 10 to 4. Then from 4 to 4:30, he will take a little rest. Then again from 4:30 to around 7, 2.5 hours, he'll chant. So, and then from 7 to 7:30, he would see the correspondence or any mails or something. And then from 7:30 to around 9:30, 2 hours or something, he'll read Shastra. And from 9:30 to 10, take a little prasadam, maybe bath, and then go to work. Then from 10 to 1, he'll go to work. 1 to 2, he'll come back, take some refresh at home, take some rest. Then 2 to 5, he'll do court duties. He would do the court duties. He would do it in just 5 minutes. He'll take just one case. He'll do it in 5 minutes. And whereas other people, even the most efficient people, would take at least 30 to 40 minutes to understand and give work on the case. But Bhakti Vinoda Thakur would spend 2 minutes hearing, 1 or 2 minutes to hear both the sides, and then in 1 or 2 minutes he would give his verdict and final decision. In 5 minutes he would solve a case, and daily he was so efficient and so valued employee of the government that they put a train just from his house to the office. How many of us have that privilege that our office sees that we are so privileged that I'll give you a car, or I'll give you transportation. Today we are worried about not such a privilege. We are worried about laying off. People are worried about getting laid off. But he was so valuable and so potent and so efficient that the government thought that he was that they put a rail track to his house, to his office, so that his time is not wasted. So that is called efficiency. And even in this, as we say that 4:30 to 7, he would chant. So even in that schedule, he would not miss his chanting. He would not miss his reading Shastra. He would, and then he would also write. So we can take inspiration from here that how Vaishnavas spend time, and sometimes we see devotees who are Prabhupada disciples also. They're extremely efficient. They are content 24 hours at just thinking how we can preach. In fact, and Srila Prabhupada also, we see time, the way Srila Prabhupada would sleep for maybe 1 or 2 hours in the night and maybe take an hour or two nap in the afternoon. But rest of the time, he would just write. So this is the symptoms of a Vaishnava or pure devotee. Sometimes we wonder, sometimes if we have a question that am I becoming a devotee or not, we can simply see what is the time, how we are spending our time. We don't even have to ask anyone. We don't have to wait for someone else to praise us or tell us anything. We can introspect our own self and see how we are utilizing our time. With that, we can find out how much of we are Krishna conscious and how much of us we are material conscious. So the time that we spend in Krishna conscious, through that extent, we are Krishna conscious, devotee. The time that we are wasting, whiling away, that we still have to work on it so that we can reduce that time in. So Bhakti Vinoda Thakur or Acharyas don't waste even a single moment. That is the glories of Acharyas, and that is where we have to follow. And once another, share one more story. There was a devotee called as Raghunath Das Babaji. Bhakti Vinoda Thakur, when he started a small club and he started reading Bhagavatam for everyone, this Raghunath Das Babaji, he would not come. So he would not attend because he saw that Bhakti Vinoda Thakur didn't have tilak or kantimala, he didn't have that. So he thought this is he's not a devotee, he's an imposter. So that's why he would not attend. But Jagannath, Lord Jagannath came in his dream and chastised him and told him, no, before that. Then later on, this Raghunath Das Babaji, what happened is he got extremely ill. Practically, he came on the deathbed. At that time, he got a dream of Lord Jagannath saying that you offended my devotee, and because of that, you are suffering this disease. So the only medicine for you is go and take shelter of Bhakti Vinoda Thakur, and then that is the only that's how you'll get cured. So then he immediately went and fell at Bhakti Vinoda Thakur and he said, I'm very sorry. I did Vaishnava Aparadh. I didn't see Kantimala, I didn't see Tilak. That's why I thought that you are not a devotee. That's why I didn't come. That's why I offended you. Please forgive me. At that time, Bhakti Vinoda Thakur was still not initiated and had not taken Vaishnava initiation. Of course, Bhakti Vinoda Thakur and Acharyas, they are directly from the spiritual world. It's not that they have to take initiation, but still for our benefit, they do that. In fact, he's mentioned as what is her name? What was I forget. I think Kamala Gopi. I think she's Kamala Manjari. I think Bhakti Vinoda Thakur spiritual is actual in Krishna Lila is Kamala Manjari, who is a servant of Rupa Goswami, Rupa Manjari. So he does not need any confirmation, but still, since for external people think that since he was not wearing Kantimala and he is not wearing Tilak, he was not a devotee. So and then he realized the pure devotees cannot be just recognized by looking at their external features. That's why we should be very careful, and sometimes we should be very watchful that whom we are talking, and we don't know who is pure devotee, who is not. That's why we respect everyone, and we don't offend anyone even in our heart. So that's how we will progress in this spiritual life. So Bhakti Vinoda Thakur, externally he looked like an ordinary person, but he is a pure devotee. So that is how Raghunath Das Babaji realized, and then he got cured. Bhakti Vinoda Thakur helped him, gave medicines and cured him. There's one more small story. There was another Babaji called as Charan Das Babaji. He started, this was all basically why the stories are coming is because in Bhakti Vinoda Thakur revived so many apasampradayas in India, in Jagannath Puri and different places, because at that time this sampradaya was getting practically lost. So Bhakti Vinoda Thakur had to revive. So this Charanadas Babaji, what he did, he said what he preached is that you can, on your japa beats, you can chant Hare Krishna mantra. That is good. But regularly, if you want to do kirtan or something, you can say Nitai Gaur Radhe Sham, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram. It sounds pretty rhyming. So he started saying that, and then he started becoming famous, and people started following. So Bhakti Vinoda Thakur then chastised him, and then wrote, studied this Charanadas Babaji's book, and then because he practically murdered Hare Krishna mantra. He studied that and then refuted this book, and then convinced Charanadas Das Babaji that you cannot do this. We cannot make our own mantras. We have to follow the sampradaya. We are given certain mantras, we stick to that. If we start making our own mantras, of course, Nitai is a valid name, Gaura is a valid name, Radhe, Sham, Hare Krishna, all these are valid. But mantra has to be given by the acharyas. Mantras, we don't make our own mantras, we don't make our own rhyming things. Sometimes we do see some neophyte devotees doing that. So we should be careful. So we should stick to the Hare Krishna mantra and the songs of the acharyas, songs of prayers of the acharyas, because we are not in a position to create mantras or create new philosophy. Our philosophy is very simple. We follow the acharyas and repeat what acharyas say. Of course, we repeat not like a parrot, but we understand, we meditate, and we properly use this in the footsteps in the acharyas. That's why when we have to write poems or something, we have to take permission, and we have to take the instructions from a senior devotee or guru. So Bhakti Vinoda Thakur, because though it may sound very good, sometimes like Nitai Gaur, Radhe Sham, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, it may sound very good, but it is not bona fide. So it is the mantra, it becomes nishphala. So to show this, Bhakti Vinoda Thakur also did this. Then later on, 1874, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur was born. And there's one more. You have time? Yeah. Share one more story, and then maybe we can have any questions or any other discussions. So in Jagannath Puri, later on, Bhakti Vinoda Thakur became the manager. They made Bhakti Vinoda Thakur manager of Jagannath Puri temple. At that time, the process that was going on was not proper. So Bhakti Vinoda Thakur changed many things that we are seeing today in Jagannath Puri. Bhakti Vinoda Thakur established that. So at that time, what the king, what he did was, he absorbed around 80,000 rupees from the king, and he started using for his own sense gratification. When Bhakti Vinoda Thakur came to this, he became extremely angry, and then he made a rule, because he was the manager of Jagannath Puri temple. he made a rule that which Chappan Bhog should be offered. And then the offering process and everything should be offered. So every day he was being king was ordered to offer food, sponsor the food. That way, immediately or in a short period of time, the king's whole kingdom's money just ran away. This king became so envious and so angry, he tried to kill Bhakti Vinod Thakur many times. But he realized that he was too prominent and he was not possible by trying to kill him by conventional methods. So what this king did, he devised a very mischievous way. What he did, he in the closed circles, closed walls, he started. He had many brahmanas do a yagna. For 30 days, he did a yagna, so that at the end of 30 days, the yagna phala is that kill Bhakti Vinod Thakur. But Bhakti Vinod Thakur was a pure devotee. Mare Krishna Rake Ke, Rake Krishna Mare Ke. He is no one can hurt a pure devotee. So on the 30th day, on the last ghee when it's offered, the king's only son and the only son immediately died. So instead of killing Bhakti Vinod Thakur, that yagna phala was the king's son died. So that is one story where the king and the Jagannath Puri temple was properly the procedure, the etiquette and everything, and the proper prayers and proper worship was properly established by Bhakti Vinod Thakur. So Bhakti Vinod Thakur later on took initiation from Bipin Bihari Goswami. But he actually took initiation or rather Siksha Jagannath Das Babaji. So that's why if you see the disciplic line of succession, we'll see Jagannath Das Babaji as Bhakti Vinod Thakur's guru. In fact, there's one story where once when Bhakti Vinod Thakur went and visited Bipin Bihari Goswami, his guru, and along with Bhakti Vinod Thakur was Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So when they went and Bipin Bihari Goswami, what he did, out of humility, Bhakti Vinod Thakur offered obeisance to his Bipin Bihari. And then Bipin Bihari actually put his head on a leg on the Bhakti Vinod Thakur. So this really agitated Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Because Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur knew what is the position of Bipin Bihari Goswami, who was in the, I think in the, not exactly the Parampara, but he was in the family lineage of I think Nityananda. Maybe I have to verify that. But so he chastised Bipin Bihari that how dare you do that? You don't know who is Bhakti Vinod Thakur. So even as a child, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur knew Bhakti Vinod Thakur's great position. Then after that, later on, so Bhakti Vinod Thakur went on to establish Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's birthplace. And when he came to Mayapur, Navadipa, he saw that from his house, he saw that there was a place where it was very effulgent. He was wondering, what is this effulgence? What is this effulgence? Then when he started excavating, that is when Bhakti Vinod Thakur excavated or found out Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's birthplace. So today when we go to Mayapur, the Imli tree under which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was born, that is birthplace, that is discovered by Bhakti Vinod Thakur. And the way he confirmed was he took Jagannath Das Babaji over to this place, and that place was full of snake holes and other snake, I don't know what's it called. So the place was very foresty-like. But Jagannath Das Babaji was very old, and he could not even walk. What to talk about walk? He had difficulty in opening his eyelids. So, but he was taken in a basket, and when Jagannath Das Babaji came to that place, from that basket he jumped and started dancing. A person who didn't have the energy to open his eyes on his own or lift his leg, he danced, confirming that this place is Lord Chaitanya's birthplace. So that way, Bhakti Vinod Thakur actually excavated and found this place where Lord Chaitanya was born. And such is the glories of Bhakti Vinod Thakur. And of course, we know that 1896, Bhakti Vinod Thakur sent the glories of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Canada, in a university in Canada. And same year, Srila Prabhupada was born in 1896. So, as a sentiment, we can see that Prabhupada then continued these teachings of Bhakti Vinod Thakur and the whole parampara. And today, we are fortunate that we are hearing the glories of Bhakti Vinod Thakur because of that. So, with that, I'll stop here. If there are any questions or any thoughts or any comments, or anyone would like to add any glories of Bhakti Vinod Thakur, that will be very nice. Because anyone who can glorify Bhakti Vinod Thakur gets great mercy. So thanks very much for taking the time. Kamalnai Prabhu, you would like to add something, please?
Vijay, that was a wonderful class. I loved. I got many more valuable information about Bhakti Vinod Thakur. We got opportunity recently visit that his home and everything. But my question is, did Srila Prabhupada meet Bhakti Vinod Thakur in person?
Not that I know of, Prabhu, because Srila Prabhupada met Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur in 1922. And if I remember the dates correct, and Bhakti Vinod Thakur left his body in 1914.
Yeah.
1914, that's what I remember. If anyone has any thoughts from Jaisabada Mataji or anyone, please.
Yes,
Mataji,
Prabhu, I have not heard.
Mataji?
Prabhu, I have not heard of Srila Prabhupada meeting Bhakti Vinod Thakur.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So because Bhakti Vinod Thakur left in 1914.
Yeah.
So and at that time, yes. Thanks very much. Any other questions or thoughts? Anyone would like to share anything? We have maybe a couple of minutes more. If not, Hare Krishna. Veena Mataji, on to you. Back to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. That was such a beautiful class, so devotional. You shared so many pastimes that we didn't know of Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Very nice, Prabhu. Really liked the class a lot. And really liked the way you were telling us the pastime and what we have to learn from it. So what is the carry forward for us, lessons for us? Just a few points that I jotted down. I mean, it was so amazing. I could just tell so much about the class, but I'll just quickly summarize 2 or 3 points that we can carry forward today. Is no matter what difficulties we get in life, don't give up Krishna consciousness. That's very important. And we are so fortunate we have the books. Bhakti Vinod Thakur really wanted to read, but it was so difficult for him to get the books. But we have right in our living room, office rooms, we have the books. And some of them have covers also still not opened also. So, but we are so fortunate we have the books. We have association, we have the holy name chanting services. We should definitely take this opportunity and continue forward with sincerity in our spiritual life. And always stick to what acharyas are telling. Don't do mental speculations. Follow what they are saying. The Maha Mantra is given by them, recite them, the prayers, the songs, beautiful. And Bhakti Vinod Thakur's songs are really so beautiful. So we have to follow them. So thank you so much, Prabhu. That was such a wonderful class and such beautiful pastimes we got to hear today. With that, devotees, thank you all for joining. I know it's a weekday, but thank you all for joining the program today. With that, we will conclude. Srila Bhakti Vinoda Thakura ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna, devotees.
Thank you so much, Abhay.